Doing well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time you're seeing this interview. I'm Coach Brad with Action Coach Business Coaching Services, another episode of the Business Spotlight. And I'm here with Dottie Corder with the Little Chefs Academy. Dottie, how are you?
I am fine. And Brad, I'm going to stop here and say we are Young Chefs Academy.
Oh, why did I have that wrong? My apologies.
That's
Thank you for
okay.
that correction. See, it just goes to show you, even coaches can be wrong. Young Chefs Academy, because that's,
Yes.
you probably would offend some folks if you called them little.
Well, you know that the name does sound like it could possibly be little chefs, and we do have some little chefs.
Yeah. I've got a really good friend that has got twin 7-year-old girls. One of them is a budding cook.
Ah,
And when I told him about, I was interviewing you today, and he's like, "Oh, we've been in there a lot, so we love that place." Um,
well, that's good
so
news.
yeah, it's real good news. So, Dottie, tell me a little bit about the Young Chefs Academy.
Okay, so Young Chefs Academy is a cooking school for children. We start with ages 4 and go through 18. We teach the joy and value of cooking. We teach it to not only children, but we teach it to teens and adults. So even though our name denotes that we're all about the youngsters, we do teach adults as well.
So, hearing that, then, and I love to cook myself. My problem is I've got almost no imagination when it comes to cooking. You put a recipe in front of me, I'll do okay with it. But I love to do it. So if
Yeah,
I were to come down to Young Chefs Academy, I could technically be called a young chef.
sure.
Sweet.
You would actually be called a young chefs at heart, because
That's
we're all young chefs at heart.
even better, even
Yeah.
better. So what made you, let me ask you this first. How long have you been doing this?
October will be our third year
Oh,
with
cool.
our doors open. We started when my middle daughter was trying to find something fun for her daughter's birthday.
Okay.
And so she was looking it up, Googling it, and she found a Young Chefs Academy in Frisco, and she booked a birthday party there. My oldest daughter was there at the party as well, and she started Googling Young Chefs Academy. She just wanted to know more about it and found out it was a franchise. And so she knew that my husband and I were looking to retire in the near future. I retired a little bit early because of opening this business. Some things fell in line and it worked. And so we proceeded there. But she said, "Mom, this looks like this would be really a fun thing for you to do when you retire." And so we got to investigating it further. And like I said, things fell into place. I retired early, and now here we are.
Well, Dottie, you stole my thunder because my next question is, how did you get into this line of work? But you already answered it for me, so we'll
Well, I'm
just move right
sorry.
on. So let me ask you then, as far as your client base and who you market to, who is your ideal client, like your target market? Like who's your best target?
Well, of course, the ages, we have classes 4 to 6 year olds. They're our kinder cooks, but I think our main thrust is with the 7 to maybe 15, 16 year olds. We have junior chef classes, and we try to level them off because we're a skill-based school. So that's teaching skills. Not only, a lot of times people think of skills as being knives. What are you going to teach me on how to use a knife? We do that, but we also throw in how to make chicken stock, how to make vegetable stock. Those are your foundations for a lot of recipes. Your roux, your sauces. How do the spices work together? If you've got a pantry that's got 5 items in it, and you know how those flavors are going to meld well together, you can make almost anything with just maybe going to the store and buying 1 item. So our thrust is to teach the kids how to take those pantry items and know what to do with it. So they're not constantly having to go to the store and buy things, or they're not having to go to the fast food stores. So that's our focus, is in that direction, as well as for the teenagers, the Young Chefs at Heart. We have had an 80-year-old that came to our adult classes for a while. And he first time he's ever cooked. And his wife came in and
Wow.
said he actually cooked me minestrone soup. So we thought that was quite an accomplishment.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, but our ages are that we really uh, seem to be more prominent than others is anywhere from 7 to the 15, 16-year olds.
Okay. All right. Well, not only can this individual use some help in that what to do with a pantry guidance, but I've got a 17-year-old senior that she could definitely stand to go to the fast food restaurants a little less frequently than she does.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, yes.
so
And that's an age, we go up to 18, but our 18 to 21-year-olds is kind of a left out group, if you
mhm,
will, because we do, for our adults, we do have a BYOB, but that starts at 21. And our classes are up to 18. So we have started trying to focus in on that young adult that needs to know how to cook because they're getting their first apartment, they're going to college, they're doing all sorts of things, and they need to know how to support themselves with their food habits. So that is one of the areas that we're looking at trying to build up with those age kids.
awesome, awesome. Well, with wouldn't be an interview in these weird times if I didn't ask you about COVID. So, given the fact you are a hands-on business and you have a brick and mortar location in Rockwall, um, talk to me about what the impact of COVID has had on you.
It's had a really strong impact on us. We have two kitchens. Each kitchen has the capacity of 25 students per kitchen. So that's really conducive to our field trips, birthday parties. We have had neighborhoods who have come together and had just a neighborhood party. So we can do all sorts of things. But because of COVID, we've had to reduce our class size down. And so our maximum right now currently is about 10 or 11 students per class, not including our teachers because they're essential to to teaching that class, but as far as students go. So that's a substantial difference in what we normally can have. And with our field trips are focused on daycares, private schools. We do have some ISDs that do come in for field trips as well. But that really puts some downplay on those sorts of things. So our classes are no more than 10. So that means that we're doubling up on classes, staff, and everything there. And plus, we still have some kids who are afraid to get out. So we have started a virtual class. We started that when COVID shut everybody down. Rockwall said we could come in with just a couple of teachers as long as we socially distance, and we do that in our classes today. And so we do have virtual classes going on as well, which that's been a plus for us with COVID. But when anyone enters our building, we take their temperature.
Mhm.
They do wear masks. All of our adults wear masks. Our teachers wear masks. Our kids wear masks until they come into the kitchen, and then they have the option to take it off or leave it on. In order for us to get up and be hands-on, teaching them how to cook that meal or cook that recipe that they're working on, we ask them to put their mask back on if they're coming up to the teacher's table, or if they're going to be working with a couple of other students on a particular project, then we ask them to put their mask on at that time. Otherwise, they're free to leave it off.
Very good. So, someone once said that necessity is the mother of innovation, and
Mhm.
I don't think, at least in my lifetime, for sure, I don't think we've seen a necessity like this at all. And so,
Yeah.
it sounds like one of the pivots you made was shifting to an online cooking program. Talk me through a little bit about how that program works, and then
Okay.
just give me some impressions on how you think it's going.
Right now, it's getting the word out, actually, that we even have them, and we are fine tuning some classes that we have in mind to do. We started out with our members only because we were shut down. We do have regular classes that people can come to, our regular per class situations, but we also have memberships. And so for our members, when we shut down is the reason that we actually started the virtual classes, to maintain their membership and keep them going forward. That has done really well. It's been a big benefit and given us some time to work through. So we have now got one classroom that's between the kitchens that is designated to virtual classes only. So the way that those work, we just recently did a couples virtual class, which was awesome because part of the group was one couple was in Austin, one was here in Rockwall, another one was in another city. So they had not gotten to see each other in quite some time since COVID has been going on. And so they got to come together and cook a meal together. And then we backed out of the video part of it and let them just, they said they were bantering back and forth, but they were catching up on old times. So that worked out really well for them to be able to see each other, cook together, and enjoy some social time without having to be next to one another.
That's also, you basically became a virtual dinner party facilitator.
Yes. And so I think for adults, I think that would be a perfect way to get to visit with family that's out of state. We've got all kinds of things that we can do, whether it's a 3-course meal or just dessert or just something that they're wanting, their favorite thing that they want to cook. So there's lots of things we can do there. We're also working on a class that would be like an 8-week session. So it would take you through some of the very basic steps. Each week would take you through some very basic skills to get you through the fundamentals in the kitchen.
Cool. That's a great idea. So let me ask you, I've got your contact information in your website. Is there anything else you would like the viewers of this interview to know about Young Chefs? Any offers you got going on right now, promos, anything like that?
Well, our members, we do have a registration fee, so we waive the registration fee right now. If you wanted to come in and join us, we ask that you kind of maybe come to a class first, get to know whether that's really what you're looking for. And for this interview, if anyone wants to book an adult party or an adult get-together, give us a call and we'll give you 20% off.
There you go. So, all right, Dottie, this has been a lot of fun. I hate to draw us to an end, but I've got one more question for you. And then start off by saying, you know the old saying that smart people learn from their mistakes, wise people learn from other people's mistakes. So, tell our viewers a little bit about a mistake that you made that might help them avoid that mistake.
Oh my, where do I start? We make mistakes every day, I think. Jeepers, that one kind of caught me off guard. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I think, and I'm going to go back. Can I bring in the chamber on this one?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to when we joined the chamber. My misconstrued idea was that you joined the chamber and they helped you. And so now I'm beginning to realize the importance of how valuable they are to your involvement with the chamber. And there's so many things that you can do. So my idea in the beginning was, oh my gosh, this is costing so much money. And now here I am, they're wanting more money to do this event or this event, and it's supposed to be helping me. And so it just seemed like I was constantly putting money out of pocket. Well, now I'm realizing that, hey, that money out of pocket was to meet new people and to meet potential contacts that's going to help my business further, because everybody has other reaches. And so I think that probably my biggest mistake early on was not getting involved with the chamber as early as I should have and as in-depth as we should have.
I appreciate that, Dottie, and I think that's a valuable lesson for sure. the chamber is a phenomenally powerful organization, but is at its core, it's a marketing strategy for sure. And like any other marketing strategy that you might deploy, its success or failure depends on consistent application. You get into it, you get out of it what you put into it. So I think
Right.
that's a really great lesson, and I appreciate you bringing that up. Dottie, this has been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot about young chefs. I've learned I can be a young chef. I've learned that young chefs of my age get to come BYOB. So you'll probably be hearing from me soon.
Okay.
Thoroughly
Okay.
enjoyed this, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Good luck.
Bye.